Hello everyone, this is MegaTrain, doing episode 6 of my OceanBlock Let's Play for Minecraft. And this episode is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually recording the audio after the fact, because a lot of this episode is going to be sort of time-lapse of a couple of the builds that I did on the island that were too slow and boring to show full length. So first thing I wanted to show you guys is a couple of giant jungle trees. Last time when I first came up from underneath the island, I had a nice giant jungle tree. I cut that down and got 14 saplings, which is pretty nice. So I've actually planted 3 whole giant jungle trees. 2 have sprouted and 1 is waiting to sprout. Second thing I've done is I got rid of all that dirt I was using to pull the grass out to the middle. Just as a hint, growing grass is really helpful if you have a channel of dirt too wide, 2 or 3 wide. So we're already into our first time lapse. This is a build of a platform that I was going to make for spawning mobs. And very simple spawning platform, just an 8x8 platform made of half slabs with walls. The idea here was that I was going to just leave an open top. When I make they would basically spawn during the night, and then the sun would come up and kill them during the day, and I would hopefully just be able to go in and collect any bones that were left by the skeletons, or any zombie flesh left by the zombies. So it's a 8x8 platform and 2 high wall, and I'll actually go across the top in a second here and put down half slabs on top of the wall. I actually don't recommend using the half slabs as the main platform underneath. I think they can glitch through, and we'll definitely see that coming up here with my other creation, that half slabs is a problem. So I'm going to just block off the front, leave a little gap here to hit the feet of some creepers or something like that. But that's my first build. My second build is the start of a village. And actually made a couple of different mistakes here that are really going to come to bite me in a later episode. I'm not sure if that's the very next episode or if it's one more later. But I actually used the same technique here of an 8x8 platform, and I'm using half slabs on the top, so upside down half slabs, or whatever you want to call them. And that ends up being a big problem because the villagers just totally glitch through the half slabs, and obviously that's a big problem. So I lay this whole platform out. The original idea was that I would basically do a 2-high wall, kind of like a pen, very similar to what I did on the other side, and I would lay doors across the middle to represent the houses. Oh, there's some of the ocelots that spawned. I'm going to chase those around a little bit. The only thing that is good about ocelots, there is an objective that to tame an ocelot if you can fish. But the problem there is if I don't have any chickens that are safe, those ocelots, that there's going to be a problem for my chicken. So back to the construction here. It actually started out being a little too small. I did some calculations and figured out that it wasn't going to work quite right, so I expanded it so that the wall itself was an 8x8. That left the open space in the middle as a 6x6, which actually seems to work out mathematically. And the way that we know that, or the way that the computer calculates what determines a house, is based on the blocks in front of and behind a door. So if I take one of my doors and I place it down here, this is kind of the design, or the way that I'm going to place these doors. The computer counts the blocks in front of and behind the door. So I've got one in front, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 behind are all clear. So there's more in the front than there is in the back, and the computer considers that a legitimate house. So don't ask me why that's the way they calculate it, but if you look on the wiki, and there's some good tutorials out there, that's the way that the computer calculates what a house is. So really, if you know those rules, there's some cool ways you can create a village that has a lot of what the computer considers to be houses, but is really just walls with a bunch of doors on them here. So the idea was that I was going to lay all these doors inside this, put my villages inside that middle part, my villagers, and all those doors should allow them to multiply. In your village, basically you're going to get one villager per 3 doors. So obviously you start with 2. You're going to want to get that ramped up. You need at least 21 doors to start spawning iron golems, and I think 10 or 15 villagers to start spawning golems. So this design is not horrible. There's really 2 issues with it. The half slabs on the bottom I've already mentioned. The second one is the door positioning on the inside. If they're on the inside where the villagers are going to go, the first reason that's a problem is because they're going to be slamming those doors all day long. The second reason that is a problem has to do with the way that zombies may occasionally spawn. Now, at night, if you don't have an area that, if your village isn't lit up properly, your zombies could actually spawn just based on the normal spawning rules. But there's another kind of zombie spawn, and that's a zombie mob that is specifically something that happens in a village, and it has nothing to do with lighting at all. So no matter what your lighting is, your zombies can still spawn in a zombie mob, and you'll see in an episode or so why that's a big deal. So I'm trying to coax my villagers in here. I actually have to chase them around the island a bit, and to force them to get in the way I want them to go. So again, a little bit of a different episode with a little bit of time lapse. I watched the old episode back and I was just rambling on, so that's why I sped it up and re-recorded it. But thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next.